You like holes, we like holes, and Tom and Dan have watering holes. Let's do this. Tom and Dan, wateringholes.com. It does not make the frogs gay.
What?
There's a little Alex Jonesy kind of a conspiracy voice I'm working on. Am I allowed to say that? I don't know.
We should really put that at the front of our great brewery and bar.
Oh, yeah, probably not a good idea.
That's fine.
Re-record it. We have a new one. We have a new one, a la carte.
Yes.
A la carte, right? Nestled right there in, what was it? Like, they're near us.
Yeah, on Colonial.
Yeah.
It's a great bar, plus they got great, like, semi-permanent food trucks in their back patio area.
They got like a food truck park, so it's clean and nice and beautiful with rotating taps and Florida craft beers. Are you crazy?
Yeah, a la carte's great.
Toll Road.
I was just there in a Coe.
They got delicious beer.
And try the ciders at our,
and now that I have not had.
Hard seltzers. I keep saying ciders. It's hard seltzers. They make their own.
Yeah, I got to try. Never had those. Hourglass, we know them. We're thinking about cooking up something real big for Hourglass.
2 locations at Hourglass. One in Longwood, one their tap room in Orlando.
Cafe Da Vinci, the best venue you will find in Central Florida, especially around the DeLand, Daytona area. Like, that courtyard is something else, man. It is super nice. Salty Sisters, we talked to Tiffany yesterday. Go there. Throw her some positive vibes. Get a hamburger. Buy 100 Miller Lights from her and show her some love. You hear us almost incessantly talk about West End Trading Company and Celery City Craft. These are great spots in Sanford, and 2 of our home spots in Sanford for some of the best drinks and best people and best environment you'll have.
Johnny's Other Side. I mean, they've been our sponsor since we started the show.
Day one.
Yeah, I mean, and Johnnyville.
Our first sponsor.
Yeah.
He's the only one we have left, really. Yeah. Thank you, Johnny.
I mean, if you haven't been to Johnny's, everybody's been to Johnny's. Go there, have the best burger in town.
Go grab a hamburger. Also, Tuffy's. We can't forget Tuffy's Bottle Shop and Lounge.
Yeah. Their music box, Tuffy's music box, always have great acts.
Go see a show. But the Watering Holes page, it's awesome, and everything's listed there. And it's an easy little party map for you. If you're looking to try a new spot, you got a new bar you want to go to and check out, just go to Tom and Dan, wateringholes.com, and click on any of the many partners that we have.
Brad Williams is here. How you doing, Brad?
Hey, I'm here. I'm at the Orlando Improv. 3 of the shows are already sold out. By the time you're listening to this, it's probably all sold out. If not, come to the Friday Late Show. If you missed it, sorry. But even though the shows are selling really well, I still wanted to come see you guys.
Appreciate
even though I landed 4 hours ago
rough, man. I know
on the red-eye flight, and even though I kind of want to kill myself right now, I thought, before I off myself, let me at least go see Tom and Dad.
Hold on, we can't have another comedian die after we have him on our
We
show.
kill all the comedians.
Yeah.
The best thing that ever happened to us is Bob Saget died.
Saget was here.
Yeah, we killed him, a lot of people said.
Brad, that thing
He's
was
regretting being here now.
Oh, this
Brad,
is not good.
That was so weird for us because he did an interview with us.
Just a phoner.
And then we talked to him for a minute, and then all of a sudden,
He made one
away.
not a mistake. He talked about it on the pre-interview. He was
He
like,
talked about dying before he did it.
he had COVID, I think, or something. He was like,
I
I'm
see.
really sick, and he had like that sound. So everybody was asking us, you knew he was dying, right?
No,
what are you talking about? It had nothing to do with
he
that.
didn't fall that morning.
Exactly.
But he tweeted out that he did our show, and then when he passed, then all of a sudden all the media got a hold of it, and then
And at that time, there was no cause of death, so everyone was like, he must have died from COVID.
And then so everybody started hitting on Inside
so
Edition.
and disrespectful. And
Brad, you know the media, the bullshit, like mainstream media, like TMZ, like reported first. They were like, his last interview was on Corporate Time with Tom and Dan.
Not true, by the way. But hey,
but so then they put it out there, and then once TMZ put it out there, then it's just like a pyramid. It's just
nobody works. Of course, nobody's going to look into it.
No, everyone follows TMZ or the Associated Press, and then they just jump on it. Everyone follows tweets that they don't fact check. It just it's on Twitter.
Yeah.
He's at it. And then, they said they traded Brittany Griner for a bag of potato chips, so it must be true. Biden said that he'll only take Griner back if they kill all of Thomas Jefferson's descendants.
There you go.
So that's the only way he'll take her back. Sure. And they agree to the trade. So all of his family members are now going to Russia to be killed.
It's happening.
I read it on Twitter. It's true.
And then, like, producers would call us, and they'd be like, all right, do you want to interview, put you on the show?
What did we do? We did Inside Edition.
But we were like, we don't know anything. We just
Tom's balls came out.
His balls.
He was promoting his gigs like we do with every comedian. They're like, we still want to interview you. And we're like, okay. And then we do an interview.
We got cut from Access Hollywood because he wore tiny shorts and his balls fell out.
No.
Good.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. That, and they're like examining the interview with a fine-tooth comb, and every now and then Bob would probably be talking to you going,
Right.
And you're like, that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. So I'll be talking with you, and if I die in 2 days, I'll be like, wait.
He did also make like one comment about dying, or like before he dies, he wanted to do something. So then everybody was like, did you think he knew that he was going to die? We're like, no.
It's so ridiculous.
We joke about dying a lot.
All the time.
I have a new bit in my act that how, because I'm a dwarf, pretty much however I die is going to be funny on Twitter. Like, no matter what happens to me, there will be jokes. Car accident, great. He was run over by a Mini Cooper. Like it's just no matter what happens to me, it'll be trending on Twitter, and the jokes will happen. Like it's just how it goes. It's like, oh, a comedian joked about death. Yes, we're morbid fuckers. And I don't know if you saw this or if it came to you in this way, but whenever the mainstream media gets a hold of a story like that, it gets changed so fast. And you have no control over it. So this was like 2 years ago. 2 years ago, there was a kid in Australia, a dwarf lad, who put his mom videotaped him after he got bullied.
Yes, we remember. Yeah. We saw you go through this.
And he was crying, and the mom was like, oh, this is horrible that you get bullied. And I saw that, and he's a dwarf kid getting bullied, so I'm like, fuck this, I'm going to do something.
He's a cute kid, too.
Yeah, he's a cute kid. He was crying. It breaks your heart. I'm a new dad at the time. I'm still a new dad. My daughter's about to turn 3, so
congrats, that's awesome.
I made it.
And it's still fresh. It's still fresh at 3.
Still got that new baby smell. I'm not tired of her yet. So like I throw up a thing like, hey, GoFundMe, I'm gonna try to send this kid to Disneyland, and then I go to sleep. I think I've done my job. I'm going to sleep. I wake up the next day, like the phone has buzzed, like the phone doesn't work anymore. Everything's going crazy. I'm getting messages online, and the vast majority of it is good because for those of you who don't know, Caden Bales, we did a fundraiser. We raised $500,000, and I'll give everyone the end story. You conspiracy theorist fucks. We ended up giving all the money to charity at Caden's request, and all these anti-bullying, anti-defamation charities. It was an amazing, amazing thing. But there was a lot of people that like saw one picture of him wearing like a Gucci shirt, and then we're like, he's rich. He's actually they're raising money for a rich guy.
He's a con man.
It did seem very much like, how dare this dwarf have a nice? He had a nice tracksuit.
Yeah, I don't have a nice tracksuit.
Exactly.
By the way, I live in Los Angeles. Do you want to know how much that Gucci shirt costs at the swap meet? $5. That's how much.
Also, Brad, I'm sure you like this one.
I've walked through that.
Yes.
Oh, listen, me and Daniel saw it happen, and then
I have a Bart Simpson shirt where Bart Simpson has an erection that I bought on the street in L.A.
It was next to the Louis Vuitton bag.
Yeah, it was
using
$4.
hard air quotes right now.
Then we saw the social media were like, he's a 42-year-old rapper. He's a con man.
He's a 42-year-old rapper.
Like the Orphan movie. Where like he pretended to be a child. He's actually a rapper. He's rich, and he conned the world. And Brad Williams.
There was some YouTuber in South America who's like really popular that said that him and I were conspiring with each other to raise the money and con people out of all the shit because we're in some sort of dwarf cult. And I'm just like, first of all, dwarf cult, I would go see that band. Like that, all that came out. I never thought I could raise $500,000 for charity and get bullied and death threats. But it's absolutely true.
Wasn't like Wolverine doing?
Yeah. Hugh Jackman. He's like, hello, it's Hugh Jackman and Brad Williams. And then I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Hugh didn't get the shit because he's Wolverine. They're like, well, he can't go wrong. What's this? What's this male dwarf telling jokes who I don't know?
It's like people were like, they were like, you I trust. You,
not so much.
I don't know about that.
You look like him.
I feel like too. Hugh Jackman got his $1 million publicist to like squash that shit quick. He was like, oh, yeah, get him.
Yeah. do that thing celebrities do and scrub the internet.
I'd forgotten about this.
So,
this is so traumatic.
I'm having so much PTSD right
no,
now.
I'm sorry.
Because now, I feel like my phone's vibrating off the hook. It's not, but I'm just like,
So how nervous are you? Because you've seen how this shit avalanches out of control. And I'm sure then all your friends are calling your celebrity friends. Like, oh shit, they're probably telling you how to get in front of it.
Not even the worst. It's worst, I bet, because man, you've been doing this a long time, very successfully. You have a ton of friends.
Yeah.
Your comedian friends. Oh, I bet they were having a fucking heyday.
Segura texted me.
Yeah, I bet all of them could wear you out, right?
Segura was like, "Why are you raising money for a 60-year-old retiree from Clearwater, Florida?"
Yeah, that's what I wanted.
Like,
that's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah. They
asshole.
They were absolutely all
brutal.
Rogan contacted me.
Oh no!
And Rogan was like, "Just give all the money to the kid. Give all the money to the kid.
Hard stance.
If he's rich, fuck it. Give all the money to the kid. Who cares?"
That's actually, you know what?
That's funny.
That's a good flex. I like that. Yeah.
Good flex. Yes. Just like hard lean in. Like, he's got a jet, and I just bought him another one.
And pose next to it.
Yeah, who cares?
Oh, God, that's hilarious.
It was this whole, you want to respond to each one individually, but you don't have the time. But, people are like, no, they're going to use the money for whatever. And I'm like, if you guys only knew, I didn't know this till I did this, but when you do a GoFundMe, if you get to a certain level, they have a team.
Yeah, it's like the
that
casino.
calls you and goes like, hey, you've got $150,000 raised. You're not going to buy a Lamborghini, are you?
Yeah,
and then, they flat out tell you, like, all right, here's what it said in your bylaws of your fundraiser. If you do anything other than this, because now that we are tracking you, we will.
It's like fraud.
Yeah, it's fraud. It's fraud. And then they're like, no, he's going to keep the money. I'm like, no, I paid taxes on that shit. Fuck no. I live in California. They would take 85% of it. No. Why would... So, it was this whole long process. So now it's like, when people say, like, oh, I want to be rich and famous, I'm like, no, you want to be rich. That is what you want to be. Yeah. Which sounds weird coming from us. It's like, we got I'm a comedian, you guys have a podcast. We're obviously trying to be famous, but at the same time, woo, you don't want that.
Well, you bring up a good point, because I feel like no one felt as bad for you as they should have, because all you fucking did was trying to do a good thing, and then you
never do anything good,
and you got a shit ton of.
And you didn't see much of that, I read the tweets, and you didn't see. I mean, it was a long time ago, but I don't think I remember ever seeing somebody go, you know what? Give it up for Brad. Brad, let's a little applause for trying to help a child at its baseline, right?
That was
helping a child, and we're shitting on that.
Yeah. We were like, oh, he should have known. What are you talking about?
He should have known. He's a dwarf. He can tell he's actually 75 years old and has some weird other disease that makes him shrink.
So then, okay,
God.
Well, and we'll move on after this, but I do want to ask, because I'm sure then you're contacting lawyers, and then you're like, what the fuck? Because I can't, just like you said, if I said I was going to give the money to this person,
this is why people don't do nice things sometimes, right?
Yeah. Oh, no, I was contacted by lawyers. I was, if you go back and find my tweets, I was begging certain former talk show hosts to come out and who like to come out and dance. I'm not talking about anyone individually, but I was begging them, and I may have actually talked to certain talk show hosts, and then they saw the tweets and they're like, we can't touch this. And I'm like, Now I'm by myself. You were going to do a thing where you gave him a comedically large check. You were going to do all the work. Now I'm stuck doing it. I dropped out of college. Yeah. I got nothing. My sister's an accountant. She's like, I'm not helping you. No one's helping me.
Now, it's crazy to me to think you go, help a child go to bed the next day. Help! Yeah. That's insanity to me.
Oh, and by the way, my daughter at the time was like, 2 months old. Right. It's like not that I have anything else going on. My wife, I'm like, my wife is like, get in here and help with the baby. I'm like, I've got every news outlet. When I say every news outlet, I mean every news outlet.
All of them. The ones that you don't even know of.
And certainly the ones you don't necessarily want to talk to. I'm talking about, I got messages from certain relatives of prominent politicians. That's I'll tell you off air. Okay. But but they were wanting to hop on it and be like, let us help, and I'm like, no.
Pause that.
I think
I think your organization may have just been indicted on 17 counts of fraud. So I don't.
If you try to help me, it's actually going to make it worse.
It's not going to do well.
I'm going to erase this DM right now.
When have you ever begged for diapers? When have you ever begged for a shitty, nasty ass, stinky diaper, and then behind you've got this thing spiraling out of control?
Yes,
and you're just begging for a diaper.
I would change my daughter's shitty diaper any day of the week. I did to not go through that again.
Which is honestly, I feel bad for you because your intent, the sole intent was good, and then all you get is all this hassle and the shit. And you still did good.
Weird thing.
And I feel like because everybody you know how this shit is like. Everybody forgets. They see the headline and then just keep on going with their life.
Story.
And that's the story. So then now you get and that's what really sucks is like at the end of the day you raised $500,000 for charity. And that was it.
Like I can post the receipts. Okay, it's not that I didn't get that, and then all of a sudden, and then the next week, Brad's got a new Tesla. Like that did not happen. This is like. So imagine those times when like you have your significant other, like maybe you're married to a woman, you're like, you know what, I haven't gotten her flowers in a while. We get wrapped up in our lives. I should be a romantic. I should get her flowers. You come home, big bouquet of flowers, and the immediate thing is, you're cheating on me, aren't you? Whoa! What? No, I'm not. Yeah, well, why else would you buy me flowers, asshole? Now, imagine that, but the world thinks that you are cheating on them.
And then there's still a percentage of the world where if you talk to someone, they're like, oh, Brad Williams. Oh, yeah, didn't he raise? There was a fraud. There's a 42-year-old a rich guy.
Raised the money for the old man.
And they gave it to this guy. And you're like, no. And then you're like, oh, whatever. The person's like, no, they know the truth.
Brad Williams?
Through a game of telephone, it comes up like, didn't Brad Williams buy a Lamborghini for Epstein? No.
Like, how the hell did it get to that?
And then when you tell them the truth, why aren't they more apologetic? They're just like, care. Because no one cares.
Yeah, people are into the drama. They're not into the truth.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Move on. You had a sniper rifle outside of my house. Oh, sorry. What's happening?
Now, is there anything good from it, Brad? Because I did look at it and I'm like, God damn, that's a lot of fucking publicity. And did it help your career at all, at least? Because it should have. Honestly,
he was already successful.
I don't know if it helped, but I will say this. Now, because I did that, now I get a lot of messages in my feed from other people that are going through really hard stuff.
That's the best. I love that.
I get to read sob stories, which I have no doubt some are real. No doubt the vast majority are fake. When they're like, well, help out, please help out this poor decrepit dwarf child. I'm like, that's me when I was 4. Like that's my photo. How did you get that? Mom, what the fuck?
Because no one thinks about all the people that start hitting, because now you're magic. Now you can just one tweet.
Now you're magic.
Seriously, one tweet, 500,000.
Yeah, I thought I would be that as a dwarf for my whole life. I didn't realize it'd be magic in that way.
Yeah. More magic, more problems.
Call me up. Send me photos of your decrepit children, that you're disease-ridden. My favorite are the ones that like, hey, could you raise some money for me? I got this whatever disease. I'm gonna die in a month. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna raise money for you. What are you gonna need to do with it?
You're just gonna have to give it to somebody else.
Yeah, what, for your family that doesn't talk to you right now? No, fuck them.
I imagine that a lot of people that like do a lot of charity just get like hit up nonstop, and then it's like almost a curse in one aspect, because it's like I want to do good, but I only have a certain amount of time, and then I can only help a certain amount of people. I can't, and then but people are like, well, help me. It's like, at that point, there's like, well, maybe it's like a lotto ticket at that point. Like maybe if he chooses me next, I'll be the $500,000. It's like that's not how it works.
What makes me laugh, and this happens every year, a few times a year. It's like something will come out like Jeff Bezos gives $2.5 billion to counteract climate change, and you get these people. That's only like 5% of his net worth. Fuck Jeff Bezos. I'm like, $2.5 billion. Elon Musk gives $150 million to combat world hunger. That's like 5 cents to you and me. Are you giving the $150 million? No.
Can't we just say good? Good.
Yeah.
Just say good.
You don't even have to say nothing.
Yesterday, they had no money. Today, they have $150 million, and you're like, fuck that guy.
Not enough.
Yeah, I get it. There's millions of reasons why you can say that person is good or bad, but not one of them.
Also, if he took all of his money, if Elon or Bezos took all their money and they gave, let's say, a $1 trillion, that people would be like, what a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Why did he do that?
You can't,
all his money. He didn't keep anything.
Can't win.
Fucking idiot.
Can't win. So don't try to fight Twitter. Just let it go.
Let's talk about the universe swirling our friends together, because I didn't put this together until this morning.
No, what happened?
So, of course, we're good friends with Carmen, and
Carmen Morales.
Yeah,
so funny, so talented.
So then another friend of ours, Chris Turner, was in here a while back.
You guys know Chris Turner
all the time. We've had him on the show as many times as we've had you.
I love.
We met him because of Fringe Festival.
Years ago.
Years ago we met him, and like we met you through comedy.
So he was come touring through here, and he came in, and we talked to him, and then we found out he was doing the Cirque show. But then through that research, we were like, oh shit, Brad's doing it too.
He opened the shit, man.
Yeah, no, I know.
Like some would say that they
launched it.
They wanted the energy of any show following Brad to match his energy level is what I was told watching multiple documentaries on behind the scenes of what was happening of Matt Apple.
So I'm fascinated with it because it's such an interesting concept, but also I imagine hard for a stand-up in that environment too. Like, so let's talk about it. Like when they approached you with it, did you first think like, man, this is going to be rough because this is not what I normally do stand-up in front of?
Right. So for those of you who aren't unsure what we're talking about, this is called a radio reset.
And I like it when the guests know what it is, and I don't have to do it.
Well, Brad's a pro.
Oh my God, it's so good to have a professional in here.
I did a Cirque du Soleil show called Mad Apple. Me and the aforementioned Chris Turner. We did it for about 4 months. We launched the show out of the New York Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. Okay, that's the base. Yes, when they first came to me, my first thing was, fuck no, I'm not doing a Cirque show. Why do I want to do like my dad when I started doing comedy was like, you're gonna end up in the circus. I can't make him right. I'm not gonna do that. And then they called me back and they're like, no, it's gonna be completely revolutionary. It's gonna be a stand-up comedian in a Cirque du Soleil show. I'm like, you're putting a dwarf in the circus. It's not that revolutionary.
This is
it's been done. It's a trap. but then they came back to me again, and when they came back to me again, and they really laid out. First of all, they said, I said, well, it's Cirque du Soleil. You guys have a brand to protect. You guys are probably going to be all over my material. They go, no. They go, your rules are be funny. You're good at being funny, so you be funny. We won't tell you how to be funny. And I'm like, oh, that's nice.
Really?
That's
what comedians want to hear.
That's fucking crack to a comedian or most artists is when you get into a corporate entity that they don't tell you jack shit about what you should do. Then they did that. Then they're like, and here's the money. And I'm like, okay, money's part of it.
Cirque got money. Let's be straight. They got some money.
Hey, the tickets are expensive and spandex is not. So they got the money. So then they showed me the money and the money was good. And then I'm like, I don't know. And then they go, we have free physical therapy. I'm like, I'm in. I'm 1,000% in. I get to get massaged every night. Fuck yes, let's go. Not in the Deshaun Watson way. I did the good because I'm 4 foot nothing. I got back problems. Okay, give me some massages. And I said yes to it. It was unbelievable. I truly loved the experience. And for those wondering, I did stand-up comedy in the Cirque show. People say, oh, you were in the Cirque show? I'm like, I wasn't in a leotard getting fired out of a cannon, just being like, wee. Okay, like that wasn't my shit. I was just doing what I do. I did I did stand-up, because
it's like a night in New York, right?
Yeah, it's like the craziest night in New York. So you have comedians, you have obviously great musicians and singers and acrobats, and it's an incredible show. You should absolutely go see it if you're in Vegas. The other thing I had to realize, being a comedian in a Cirque du Soleil show, is that I had to be very comfortable being the ugliest person in that cast because Cirque du Soleil, god damn,
really? Everybody's beautiful.
Everyone. All right, I had to go on after two brothers that juggle each other with their feet. Okay, that's what I went on after.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, because were you concerned about the placement? Because
you need to teach your sons to do that.
Okay, all right. So
Tommy and Max, they can juggle each other with their feet.
Like a quick rewind, going back to Carmen, because it's all pulled ties in together. So we hired Carmen one time for we have subscribers called BDMs, and then we had a BDM meetup, and you were actually there later. It was
you popped up
BB
top
King's
to say hi, and then basically go.
Oh my god, I forgot he showed up.
He popped up top, and he goes, "Hey guys, you're doing this all wrong."
Yeah, and we fucked it up because
we're idiots.
We had her go on after.
We've never forgotten that either. It was like a nice lesson.
She was in between.
The mood designers, and then in between sets, and it was
we stacked this so poorly,
and I was like, because we don't know, we're idiots, and we're not professional. We fucked it up, and we laughed.
Well, now we know. I'll say we know now.
But there is a good placement for stand-up that makes, were you concerned about that in the show?
I was, because it's like normally I'm going on after another comedian, and people are there for comedy.
Correct.
This is a situation where the Cirque du Soleil crowd is not the crowd that's going to be at my 3, probably 4 sold-out shows by the time you hear this at the Orlando Improv. They're going to see stand-up comedy. They're going to see someone get dangled by their hair, and spin. They're there to see the guy that's inside the wheel of death. So that was a concern, but so I definitely had to craft the material to be like, okay, I have to pretend like I'm doing comedy for people that have never seen comedy before, because in many cases I will be, or they won't speak English. So
was it an all ages show?
It was Cirque had the
16 and up.
16 and up, yes.
Okay, so you didn't have to tone it down.
I spent a lot of time on the website.
Yeah,
16 and up.
16 and up.
Alabama style.
Yeah.
I think that's right. I think it's 16 in Alabama.
Yeah. Okay, so we did that, and I was just kind of crafting the material to fit that, and thankfully it worked. It was an amazing time. It's also ridiculous because Cirque du Soleil, legit, the most talented people you've ever seen in your entire life. The skill set of these people is unreal. We had a Russian hand balancer. And this man is just the most gorgeous human being you've ever seen in your entire life. Your phone rang, that's a fine. You owe me $5. Anyway, he's gorgeous. He's sculpted from stone. His name is Valentine. He's just an Adonis. And he's a hand balancer. He takes a rod and a block, goes on a 60-foot replica of the Empire State Building, and is balancing on one hand, switching hands, flipping positions. It's unreal. So one night in the show, all the lights go out. The lights completely fizzle out, and everyone's panicking. Like, what do we do? And I run to the side of the stage and go, "Hey, I'm a comedian. Does the audio work?" And they're like, "Yeah, the audio works." I'm like, "Great, send me out." So they're not. So the audience isn't just sitting there in darkness, going like, "What is this part of the show? What's going to happen?" So I run out there. They've already seen me, but I do another 10, 15 minutes. and then I get back. Valentine is standing right there, shirtless, because why would you wear a shirt if you look like that? Anyway, so I come back, and he's just staring at me, and I go, Valentine, what's up? He goes, I have no idea how you do what you do. And I'm like, you balance on your palm. If you slip, you die. If I fuck up a joke, one person goes, "Oh, that wasn't very funny." Like that's the worst thing that happens to me. My God! And you just see like how terrified people are of actually talking in public.
They are. Well, because Valentine, his probably worst
Look
fear
at Brad. He goes out there, he talks. He doesn't know them. There's no lights.
Nothing. But we had insanely talented singers. Actually, if you saw the USC Utah Pac-12 championship game, which USC lost, and I went to USC. Thanks for bringing that up, assholes. But the Castaman Apples sang the national anthem before that game, and they killed it. It's really, really talented people. So if you're in Vegas, you should absolutely go see the show. I'm trying to do some things where I come back and just do like a set here and there every now and then. Pop in.
That would be awesome.
I know the choreography.
Yeah.
Throw me back in there.
You're out.
So
like
it
the costuming and everything. I was going through the stills. It looks like it's just like any other Cirque show where they pump all the best I'm curious, money into it. The best costuming, the best lights and sets and musicians.
It's amazing.
Did it change from the beginning? Like when you first all right, I have an idea of what I'm going to do, and then did that change, or was like what you thought worked immediately?
I had to change a little bit just because I realized, I didn't realize there would be so many people that literally didn't speak English because it's Vegas and they see Cirque and then that's all they want, or they speak French or whatever. So I had to definitely make my act way more physical. You coughed on air, there's another $5 fine. You owe me $10. Anyway, that's like 1 gallon of gas. Anyway, but yeah, so I would eventually change it and sort of cater it to the set, and then I finally got the set to the point where I loved it. The aforementioned guy that we talk about, Chris Turner, you guys obviously know him. If you're hardcore listeners will know him. Freestyle rapper, the most unbelievably talented freestyle rapper. You give him 5 topics, he goes off the dome, does an insanely complex rap, and if you're wondering what he looks like, he looks exactly as you're picturing him. He's a white guy from London.
I know. Yeah, I tell him all the time. Every time he comes in, I'm like, you need to do the quintessential
monocle top hat.
Well, no, where you're on the street, and then there's like a freestyle rap circle going on in New York.
Oh, the fish out of water. The cipher.
The white men can't jump. I choose this guy.
Let me put money on him.
It's
hey, son.
Let
him go.
It's LeBron James dressed as an old man dunking in a street basketball.
Let's dress Chris Turner as LeBron James. Not problematic at all.
That won't get him canceled. So he's unbelievably talented, and we've actually done some shows together since then.
That's awesome.
Great guy. It was an amazing opportunity. I love doing it. Like I said, I'm trying to go back. Once again, the free physical therapy definitely helped.
But also being away from your family that's got to be a pain in the ass.
And by that you mean fantastic. Yes. No. The thing is that was a wonderful, crazy good opportunity. I was there 5 days a week, and then I would fly home on my days off to see the aforementioned family because I'd like to keep. Awesome. I'd like to keep half my shit. So
you got to work on it.
Yeah. Go work on it.
Time
and then
spent.
Also, you don't understand like how many hookups Cirque has. Like any show in Vegas I want to go see, they got me. Any club, any event, any like the secret performer Vegas, like all the performers know these spots. They're just unreal.
Is Cirque the big dog out there, you feel like?
Yeah.
It's like
top tier.
Yeah, Wayne Newton's trying to remain the big dog, but I don't think they have enough facelifts, man. Like he hasn't. Speaking of which, like I got to perform at the NFL draft. Like
really?
I did stand up at the draft
this year.
Yeah, because the draft was in Vegas.
Right. Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
we helped launch it, so it was like in between the draft picks.
So you get to do all sports themed, whatever you want to do. And
How weird was that?
The craziest part about it was that I was doing stand up on a stage that they had constructed in the middle of the Bellagio fountain. So my audience was 150 feet away.
Oh, comedians love that.
Comedians love
It's their
that.
favorite thing.
Like, you can't even see their face.
No.
Even Joe's smiling. He loves it. They love it. They love
I
it.
couldn't hear laughter.
But you're doing these things that make you such a badass, because, like, Cirque makes you more of a badass.
Yeah.
Standing in a fountain, I guess, makes you more of a badass.
Yeah, not that many like, normally if you're doing stand-up comedy in a fountain, it's because you're homeless and you have multiple mental health issues.
Well, that gives
Arguably, I do have a couple of those, but yeah.
So you're doing comedy at the draft, and like, what do they even tell you? Do they, is like, speaking of giant corporations, do they
That's
say,
the
like,
one that scares me.
don't fuck around with the Goodell?
They can
don't
sweep the Twitter. I've seen them do it.
Like, don't mention our stars. Don't make fun of fucking.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, it's all
And
that.
whatever
right?
you do, don't talk about Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Okay, we know you're not at all concerned or angry
Because
about it.
Don't even say Washington.
At the time, I was thrilled. I was like, yeah, I'll talk about him. I was making fun of Adam Ray and Joel McHale and Nick Thune. Like, thanks for the Hall of Fame quarterback, you dumb shit. I was high and mighty. Just, Broncos, Super Bowl, let's ride. I was doing all. Now it's like Broncos country, let's hide. Fuck this. How is this happening? Ow.
Okay, so
Ow.
real quick on Russell Wilson.
I've been saying it too. It's crazy.
So, Brad, you are familiar with
and
more
don't
than
get me
anybody.
started on the Subway commercials. My God, they're weird.
Like,
Spicy.
I believe, speaking of the media, I believe certain athletes fuck with the media, and they throw out goofy shit just because they know it'll make headlines all over the place, and they laugh about it. I think they do, because sometimes they'll say shit and then they'll know it'll end up everywhere. It's like, hey, it's good for my brand. Gronk was brilliant at this. Gronk plays into being dumb on fucking commercials. He's getting paid
It works.
$10 million.
He's
like,
good at it.
Yeah.
Like, so anyway, when I saw Russell Wilson do that interview when he was flying to London talking about doing high knees on the plane, right? Yeah. And then it went everywhere and stuff. I'm like, is he fucking with him? Like, is it real?
I think you thought he was fucking with him, right? You wanted to lend more towards that.
It seemed like he was fucking around, and then all of a sudden it made news, and I was like, oh, he's just fucking around.
But
then I'm watching what's happening, and then his Seattle, his teammates in Seattle, like, they were now talking shit, and it's like, is this person just a crazy person?
So a couple of fun stats.
Okay.
These are my favorites. If the Broncos had scored 18 points a game, every game, they would have 2 losses.
Yep. I'm familiar.
18 points. So if you're betting on DraftKings or FanDuel, you know that very well.
I've lost a lot of money in the Broncos because every week I'm like, it can't be this. It's like, this has got to be the week. It's just knocking the rust off a new team.
Yeah.
Who's got more touchdown passes in the last 3 weeks? Russell Wilson, who's got a $250 million contract, or Baker Mayfield since he joined the Rams 7 minutes ago?
We were just talking about
the answer. They're tied. One.
I was watching that game, and when they put Mayfield in, I'm like, this motherfucker got here 2 days ago.
I went back and watched the drive, and I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
And then he's completing passes. I'm like, well, it can't be that hard.
He doesn't know the playbook. He's playing like junkyard ball. Hey, you go out. You go out to the cheerleader. Make a right. You go long. Like, that's what he's doing.
On a decimated Rams team that doesn't have anybody. Fucking
Cooper Kupp's out.
Skoronic. That sounds like a ball sack.
He's got an infection in the left Skoronic.
So what?
Robot ball sack.
How is that possible, Brad? That all of a sudden it just has to be an anomaly, right?
We just need to get Brad to talk to Russell Wilson.
Tom Brady has been inside Giselle more this year than Russell has spent in the end zone. That's what's happening. I hate this shit. And at least it's only 1 year, and we're gonna get a good draft pick. Oh wait, no, we traded all our draft picks, first and second rounds, for the next 2 years to the Seahawks. The Seahawks, for me, I would put a Super Bowl bet on the Seahawks winning the Super Bowl in like 4 years, because through the draft they're gonna get so much stuff. Oh my god, they're set.
Brad, at least the ownership.
Geno Smith.
I know, Geno Smith. I wanted you to say his name. I didn't want to make you mad.
He's good.
At least
he's good.
At least the Broncos' new owners are football guys. Oh wait,
Walmart.
They don't know shit. They didn't know how to pronounce Goodell. They didn't even know who Goodell was. was.
We have Walmart and Condoleezza Rice. Actually, I would trust Condoleezza just to be the most, just the owner, just by herself.
She'll Google it.
Yeah, she's smart. She went to Stanford. She knows some stuff.
She knows it.
Do you still? Do you ever go to games? Do you ever go to Bronco games?
Yes, I went to one this year.
Okay, yeah.
I went to one this year because as much shit as I talk, the Broncos reached out to me and they're like, "Hey, we're having some trouble getting like good vibes on our team." I'm like, "Yeah, wonder why." And,
I see, no shit.
Yeah, and they're like, "You have a lot of Instagram followers. Can we fly you out for a game and like give you a nice experience?" And I'm like, "Yes."
Yes, I will.
As much shit as I've talked. Yes. Of course.
It just means you care.
Yeah. Russell was hurt that day, so it was actually fun. Yeah, they played the Jets. They got beat. But I had an amazing experience. Got to go on the field. I watched the game from John Elway's family suite. And
how was that? Did you meet Elway?
I've met Elway.
Hall of Teeth.
Yeah.
You've been to the Hall of Teeth.
I've met Elway several times. So I'm a lifelong diehard Denver Broncos fan. Elway was my guy. We all have that athlete that was like your athlete.
He was your dude
when you were a kid. We all have that person. For me, it was Elway. And then I got a phone call in 2019. That was, hey, John Elway has a bunch of car dealerships here in Denver. We have a Christmas party every year. We heard you're a big Broncos fan. Would you like to perform at our Christmas party? And I said, will John Elway be there? They go, yes, he comes every year. And I go, well, then I will be there. They say, we haven't told you what the money is. I go, don't give a shit.
Yeah. It's Elway.
My guy.
I'm going.
Is my guy, yeah.
So I go. And I perform at the Christmas party in 2019. And I do my set. And Elway is the first one to give me a standing ovation. Of course, the king stands up. Everyone else goes, "Oh yeah!" And and you knew it was him because the light reflected off those chompers.
But he's so tall too. He's a big motherfucker.
Yeah, he's a big dude. And then I get done with the show and I see him like wave me over, and it's like this is like Carson.
This is cool.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
And I sat down at his table and we talked and we joked.
That's badass.
It was great. At one point, he goes, I got to do this thing. And then he goes over to the side and he stands there and he signs anything for all of his employees, like if they want whatever. So
really?
So like guys are coming up with like 9 footballs. They're like, I'm covering my Christmas this year. And he's signing all of them.
Oh, that's cool that he does that.
At one point, I come up there and I go, you're doing all this. Do you mind signing a ball for me? And he goes, yeah, no problem. And he signs the ball and I go, do you mind if I go out for a pass?
Oh, really?
And he goes, yeah, go out. And then I'm like, oh shit! And then like the thing that got me nervous is like, all right, I'll go out for a pass. And in my mind, I'm gonna do like this little like 5-yard like down and in whatever. And then before I go, Elway does this thing. He's wearing the suit jacket. He cocks the arm.
No, I'm
like,
he's so
what are you doing?
He
like,
you through the drywall.
What are you doing?
He's still getting thrown old man fucking speedball.
Yeah, he's like, Nolan Ryan pitched a fastball at 84 miles an hour.
I
as
bet
the
you
first,
he still got
pitch.
it once.
I got it. I ain't as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was.
Yes, sir.
So he cocks the arm. I'm like, all right, I'm going out then. So I go out, and then he chucks me a pass. It was awesome. It was a dream come true.
That's so dope.
And now I can text John Elway.
Really?
Wow,
It's crazy. And he texts back.
No shit.
Like-
Text him, what the hell's going on?
I'm sure he gets a lot of that.
I've done a few of those. every now and then I stare at my phone. I go, don't do like,
Don't do it.
Every time it's like a 3rd and 7 and it's a bubble screen to the left. I'm just like, don't text John. Don't do it. But yeah, it's like what does help is that I learn things. I'm like an NFL insider for the Broncos. Like I like the Chubb trade. I knew about that like a week before it happened.
No shit.
That's awesome.
Hold on. Well, you could figure out a way to make a little money. Gambling. Yeah. I like to gamble. I got as many. I mean, we're in Florida, so I got all I can get is offshore books and private books.
It's ruining his life.
I can't get family.
If you want to win this weekend. All right, I have a surefire bet.
Hey, get the
surefire.
Hold on a second. Now
Bet the house on this. The Broncos, bet the under.
All right.
Because they don't score shit. They don't score shit.
Well, the market knows, Brad.
It's already the secret. They're going to lose again. God damn it.
The gambling market knows, and now the under is fucking 36. So
it's like, it's wait, hold on. I'm pulling up my phone. Who are the Broncos playing this weekend? You degenerate gambler.
No, I know.
Well, you're not going to get anywhere near that.
I've had a bad gambling year.
We know.
So that's just called a
ruining
year.
his life.
Chiefs.
Yes.
Oh God! Well, don't bet the under because the Chiefs will get it over. It's a division game.
I looked at that. I looked at the under, but the problem is, are the Chiefs gonna fucking annihilate the Broncos? The Broncos have a good defense, and when are the Broncos defense gonna give up? Because they're already yelling at that's not a good sign. When they're yelling at Russell Wilson
because they're giving up 16 points a game.
I know.
And they're like Russell. 3 touchdowns.
It's something.
3.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Brady had 2 in 3 minutes last week.
Yeah.
3. The whole game.
It's weird, man. It's weird.
That's all we need. We're talking too much sports.
It's fine. It's fine. We got to get him out of here.
I know. Yeah. You got to go, dude.
I got to go sleep.
Yeah, we got to give this guy some rest.
There is only the late show tonight.
Snag that dinner package and make it a treat.
Get the tickets. And Brad, I know, you probably look at your phone. It's like sold out show. Yeah. I don't need to do any fucking media or anything.
It means a lot that you come by.
We appreciate you to come by.
You guys have always been great. You guys have always been nice to me, and I love your story of being the independent entity that you are, and I love the fact that you treat my friends really well. The stuff you're doing with Carmen is fantastic. Now I know you guys are with Chris Turner too. That's great. It's like some of these things I just do for me. I'm not I'm not doing this to help me. I'm doing this because it just makes me feel good to hang out with you guys.
Well, I appreciate that.
It means a lot.
But it does help me.
It does.
Well, I mean,
don't kid yourself.
All your shows are sold out. So how much? But
late show Friday, maybe.
Last question.
Grease some palms.
Oh, here we go.
Every couple of years, you repost a Twitter picture of you wearing our shirt at Disney World with Snow White, and then we get inundated with texts, and people are like, "Oh shit, Brad Williams is wearing your shirt." And then I'm like, "This has happened years ago."
Yeah, I think we even got one time where the person was like, "Why the fuck do you do that?" Hold on a second. What is happening?
You guys didn't pay me. No, and so all right. So it's a photo of me in Snow White. Needless to say, I'm a professional comedian. If you can't find multiple opportunities throughout a year to post a photo of a dwarf and Snow White together, quit comedy because it's too easy. So there's certain situations that come up, like when the whole Dinklage was talking about how the dwarves in the new live action Snow White shouldn't be dwarves.
Right.
Like I was like, okay, let's pull out this photo again.
I got the Snow White.
Some of that is working though.
Timely.
I wrote this down for a topic for Friday Free Show, but I'd rather burn it while you're here because I'd like to get your opinion on it. Like there's a new Toyota ad that's out, and they have the elves working in the background. The lady, it's that same lady that walks in the Toyota showroom, and she's like, hey, and she's like, oh, it's our winter event. It's one of these Toyota winter events. They cut to the elves working on the car, and it's all regular sized people, whatever you fucking call it, and they just used movie magic to make them elves. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Like, I mean, you can look at that different ways,
they went
but
full Gary Oldman and tiptoes on us.
Yeah, they fucking eliminate. They're just like, we don't. Is that like we don't want the fucking headache? They're like,
yeah.
And
So
I think that's
like
bullshit.
Now politically correctness. It's like, oh, we don't want to hurt their feelings, but through not hurting their feelings, they're not going to get paid. Like,
I was like, you just took jobs away from like
dwarf
12
actors.
people.
Yeah, dwarf actors. Hey, we couldn't make it in the mainstream, but we can count on December and March every year paying the bills, and now we can't count on that due to political correctness and not wanting to hurt our feelings. Like I'm of the mind of like, Peter Dinklage said that and he never did really any elf or leprechaun work, although he was in the movie Tiptoes, which is the most offensive movie ever made. Google it. It starts 3 Academy Award winners, and
I was going to say there's a great cast.
It's the worst fucking movie ever made.
Well,
it's the
now
most
that you're
offensive
saying
movie
that,
ever
I know
made.
what I'm watching tonight.
Yeah, it's streaming on Amazon Prime.
Right.
It's the I can't
I'll
emphasize
tweet
this
you when
enough.
I'm done with it.
It's please.
What's in it?
I don't know.
You don't know about the movie Tiptoes?
I don't know.
I don't either.
Oh, sweet Jesus! All right. Can you pull audio and play it?
Yeah. Dan can,
Google the preview for Tiptoes.
Like the trailer?
Yeah, do the trailer.
So this is from 2002.
I could do a 4-hour podcast on this movie.
I got it.
It's so bad.
Gary Oldman,
Okay.
Matthew McConaughey, Kate Beckinsale, Peter Dinklage.
I got
it. Yeah.
All right.
I got it right here. All right, here we're gonna go.
Okay.
We're gonna go to the bottom here for a little tiptoes.
All right.
Here we go.
Carol and Steven's life together was perfect.
I've got to get going.
Right this second. Hey, baby.
Whoa.
Thanks, Captain. Jesus, Tom.
I'm telling the audience.
They have one.
I'm Ralph. I'm his brother.
Small
We're
problem.
twins.
Oh, okay.
Gary
It
Oldman
can tear them apart.
is a dwarf.
I think you gotta let me know that everyone in your family's a midget.
They're not midgets, Carol. They're dwarfs.
Whatever.
Or bring them together.
Hey, welcome. I'm Steven.
Ah, there you are. This is Steven's father, Bruno, and his mom, Kathleen. And over behind the bar is Steven's brother, Rolf.
Hi. You could have prepared us for this, don't you think?
If you embarrass me, I'll never speak to you again, so just get it together.
Oh my God,
This is
Brad!
absurd.
Gary Oldman is playing a dwarf.
Yes, and when they say remember the guy from Lord of the Rings? What was the name? I should know this. The dwarf in Lord of the Rings. He
Yeah.
feuded with Orlando Bloom. Whatever. That guy.
Yeah.
They did really good CGI to make him little. Really good CGI. This?
No. It looks like he's walking on
Do you want to know what he did? He was.
That's what it
he
looks
was
like,
on
yeah.
his knees, and then they tied his arms back.
Oh, my
so
God.
his arms appear shorter. And then in the end of this, I think it's the end of the trailer. It's so when they're going through the cast, they go, and in the role of a lifetime, Gary Oldman.
Oh, okay, hold on. I'm going to the end here.
Yeah. It's so.
How did...
All right, they're having a
different time, Tom.
Yeah.
2002.
Yeah.
Down the aisle.
Steven's he's a very lucky guy. I just hope he's smart enough not to screw it up.
Is just a beginning.
There'll be rough patches, there's no doubt about it.
Canal Plus and Langley Productions proudly present command performances
Yes.
from Kate Beckinsale,
Yes.
Matthew McConaughey,
Yes.
Patricia Arquette,
Sure.
and in the role of a lifetime,
Also, Patricia Arquette has like box braids. Like, what the hell's going on in this movie?
Dinklage is in this movie. All right. Fun fact about this movie.
I have to watch this.
What the fuck have you showed me?
I bet
Brad?
Dinklage regrets this.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yes. Now I know why he never took Elf and Leprechaun movies after this, because he's like, that's the worst thing I've ever done with the dwarf
Oh,
community.
yeah. That makes
So-
sense.
Yeah, that does make
Oh, my
sense.
God.
Out of all the things that are so insanely offensive to little people in this movie, and I'm a comedian, it's hard to offend me. They went it. So one if in the clip where Matthew McConaughey goes, they're not midgets, they're dwarves. If you look at Kate Beckinsale in that clip, she's wearing a ridiculously stupid hat, like insanely dumb hat, and then you find out doing a little bit of research on the movie. That's how they got her. They wanted her to do this movie, and she's like, absolutely not. And she goes, I'll do the movie, but under the caveat of I have to be able to wear this hat. This is my lucky hat.
Are you serious?
This is a real story.
Hold on.
This is my dwarf hat.
This is my working with dwarves hat.
Yeah.
So all these people are insane, right? Okay. They obviously...
Yes. Peter Dinklage does an accent. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be. I think it might be French, but it definitely goes in and out.
Why did Matthew McConaughey do this? He's high, right? He's high. He's out of it. He's out of it, right?
Because it was the role of a lifetime.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the most offensive movie ever made. I don't know how I got on the tiptoes, but because I can easily get onto this movie at any point because it's the most fucking. It's worse. Like there's one point where someone catches their girlfriend cheating, and they're like. All right, there's a scene. You guys, what am I gonna do? Spoil it? You'll still watch it. So there's a scene where they all go to a dwarf party, which is like
Dwarf party.
Yeah. Once again,
I don't know what that is.
Great band. And it's at this house, and there's like 100 little people just running around this house.
That sounds
and then
awesome.
at one point, Gary Oldman's girlfriend cheats on him with David Alan Grier. Yes. Dag is in the movie.
Somebody was fucking with us when they made this movie.
David Allen Greer.
How high? And then we'll get David Alan Grier. What?
Who made this? They're fucking with us, right?
Matthew Bright. I'm looking up what else he's done.
God.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He catches this dwarf woman who happens to be if you know porn, Bridget the Midget. She's the girlfriend. It's a star. It's
finally a name I recognize.
How am I not in this movie? That's all I want to know. And then
what if you did too? What if you self-funded part two?
Maybe I'm in the background.
Well, back in 02.
This was this guy's last movie.
Yeah, it should be.
Once you see it, you'll be like, yeah, I wouldn't give him another one.
Oh, he also wrote and directed Freeway 2, Confessions of a Trick Baby.
I want to document. Okay, hold on.
Baby.
Brad,
Freeway 1 is actually a really good movie.
Okay.
Brad, if there's ever another pandemic and you have some time off and you're not touring, you need to make a documentary about this movie and how it was made. Because you
can deep dive. What the fuck is this?
I feel like you have the connections to get some people, some actually stars to talk about it because most people want to bury
really
this.
piss people off. Get that kid you raised the money for to be your co-host. Oh, people will be so fucking mad.
Let's do it.
I hate it.
Hey, this is the kid that was bullied to the point of tears. It wasn't because of people making fun of him. It was because his class watched Tiptoes that day. And they all looked at him, and that's why he was crying and why I had to raise $500,000 for the kid. Yeah, there's a scene where they catch Bridget the Midget cheating with David Alan Grier and at a party. And when he catches them, they're like shocked, like, oh you caught us. And then you look around, they're fucking in the middle of a glass house, a literal glass house. Everyone's around them going like, yeah, it's a glass window, we can see you fucking. They're like, how'd you catch us? You're fucking in a glass house. There's
This is
like, I'm gonna have to watch this.
Who's like, we need David Alan Grier.
Yes.
Well, they were stacking the deck, man.
Once again, I could do a 4-hour podcast on this movie.
Well, Brad,
I've only done a 2-hour podcast on it. I did a podcast called Cinephobe, and we broke down this movie.
I'll check that out too. I'd actually rather hear your commentary to make it funny.
It was, Cinephobe. It's a great podcast.
There you go.
But I love you guys. It's
love
great.
you too, man. Thanks
I
for
love
the
hanging
time.
out with you. Try to buy tickets for my one late show tonight. It's probably already sold out by the
one
time you hear
ticket
it.
left.
Yeah, I have.
Get it.
There's 5 tickets, whatever. The password is Tiptoes. And we'll have a great time tonight. You guys are the best.
Oh, thanks, Brad. We
it, man.
appreciate it. All right, we'll see you on the Friday Free Show.